to GamerNerdz. I'm Monica Jolie. Today we are going to look at one of the most critically acclaimed RPGs. Bethesda brings the 5th title in their epic long-running series, The Elder Scrolls. Let's see if the land of Skyrim is worth the visit, or should players just return to Cyrodiil?
Welcome back to GamerNerdz, everybody. Today me and Voyce are going to talk about the 5th sequel in a long line of storied RPGs released by the RPG masters Bethesda. Following the lines of Hammerfell, Morrowind, Oblivion, we're going to set foot in the world of Nerdz, dragons, the world of Skyrim. As with all the other Elder Scrolls games, there's a large overarching story. Basically, you are the savior, in this case the Dragonborn, a single figure who apparently can steal the soul of dragons. As with other Elder Scrolls games, you have a lot of subquests, a lot of guilds, a lot of things to join. The main story, though, is the quest of the single individual who you create. Everyone plays a different type of game.
Civil war in Skyrim taking place between the Imperials and the Nerdz, aka Stormcloaks. Once you start the game, you're being taken off to get beheaded. Dragon shows up and pretty much sets the pace for this game. From that point on, the game just opens up and you can do whatever the hell it is you want to do. Once I left the first area, Helgen, I fell upon side quest upon side quest upon side quest to the point that 20 hours in, I realized I hadn't even started the main story and I was already enveloped into this game. The main story itself, it's not exactly the most original story you've ever heard. It set the mythology for this. To really create this world, it's immersive.
They just give you so much else to do. I actually had trouble figuring out what I was going to say about the story because we put in a lot of hours into this game. The actual storyline, the main story, you can complete in about 6 hours. You just go through the motions, you meet obviously set characters, encounter a lot of dragons and so on, and basically fulfill your destiny. I had the same problem with Oblivion. I didn't beat the main game until 80 hours in. The main story, it's not going to win any awards. I think it's just everything else. There's a lot of depth, there's a lot of stuff to read.
You could spend hours upon hours just doing everything else in this game. The story, it might not win any awards, but I really do like the story. The side quests pretty much in themselves could be their own game.
The Daedric artifact missions, they're much more engrossing in terms of overall mission structure and locations. As you said, the side quests are just better.
Storyline, so-so. The side quests make it come to life.
Don't just buy it for this main story.
Yeah, don't. Definitely go play the side quests. But yeah, good stuff, guys. Let's get into the gameplay of Skyrim, which is obviously my favorite part of the game. One thing I can say about this game compared to Oblivion is that they really streamlined it. It's pretty straightforward. You have this kind of 4 arcing diagonal wheel thing going on. Pretty much choose magic, items, your map, your level up system.
Key thing here is that everyone will play a different type of game. As the previous Bethesda games, at the very beginning you'll create your character. As Voyce said, the experience and level up system is much more streamlined. In Oblivion you would get experience for doing everything. You would stand still and just jump. Kind of made no sense. It's not the traditional RPG where you fight people and you get experience points. You gain experience for doing things. You just choose your skill sets. I have a Redguard warrior who is proficient in archery and two-handed combat, and as you're increasing up your character, buffing your stats, he gets better at single-handed weapons, armor, shielding, magic, and so on.
I went for the Nord. Shield in one hand, sword in the other, and when I want to use my magic, you have to go into the menu system, choose the magic, equip it again.
But thankfully, there's a favorites menu.
Is there really?
You know you can do that?
Nope.
You press up and you get a favorites menu. Seriously, you don't know that?
I did not know that, so that would have saved me a lot of time.
Are you serious?
I did not know that. It sucks.
Obviously, there's certain weapons and armor suited for better types of situations.
I mean, if you play games like Final Fantasy where you try to level up your character, it's very tedious. Because of the side quests are implemented into the game, you level up your character and you don't necessarily feel like it's a chore because you're really just involved in the side quest.
You'll get pop-ups like your shield skill increase, encounter randomly somewhere part of the main storyline, your blocking skill increase. Here you have counterattacks, you can do power attacks. They took the animations from Fallout 3. A knockout blow will be panned to a cinematic view. So some of the best battles in this game are against these dragons. Once you kill them, you gain their souls, and as a Dragonborn, you can basically speak their language and it comes out in the form of shouts.
You can have companions that follow you around. You don't want to go into any dungeon without one. I don't like the fact that, especially when you're traversing through Skyrim and you come across these rocky regions, generally your companion can get stuck. You can jump off, you can jump over something, the character has to go all the way around. It can get annoying when you come across a random enemy, aka dragon, and your character is like 15 million miles away trying to catch up to you and you're just like, are you serious? But those are just some small technical issues. I actually married my companion. The girl from the companions. Yeah, so.
She died actually. She died in a dungeon, and then I realized she had good loot, and I stole it from her.
You didn't say what? You glossed over probably the best part of the game, which is your dragons. You're walking for a few minutes, you hear a dragon roar, you look up, there's a dragon circling you. I mean, that's probably the best part of this game, when the dragon circles you, lands on a building, is breathing down fire at you. These fights are so epic.
The thunes, the dragon shouts, and just the variants and weapons and skills, just how you can play the game. I mean, there's just unlimited possibility. Let's get into the look and feel of Skyrim. Oblivion is going to be 6 years old in a few months, and it shows visually the environment, the world of Skyrim. It's obviously inspired by Nerdz or Viking mythology. It's really consistent throughout. You'll visit the 9 major cities or holds in this case, and they have their own unique architecture. Bethesda's been at this for a long time. They can make open world games that are just vast and just tons of stuff to see and do. Skyrim is no exception. It's absolutely a beautiful game.
Although Oblivion is the predecessor to this game, Fallout did come out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's more inspired by that.
Exactly. And so one thing that's really refreshing for me, coming off Fallout New Vegas, it just feels so great to walk into a world that is just lush and teeming with life, dragons and bears and ogres. I came across a mammoth, and I said to myself, oh, there's a mammoth, I gotta go approach this mammoth. And I went to the mammoth, and obviously I decided to attack it. And
he's just chilling, you know, eating vegetation.
Eating vegetation, I tried to attack it. The mammoth is generally protected by giants, and the giant comes out of nowhere. One swing, you're in the air.
Honestly, the best way to travel, run into a giant, and have him swat you with his bat. You will fly. If you're a home console player, you definitely want to play the 360 version. PS3 version has been marred by just technical issues. It's slow, it stutters. If you're a PC user, then you'll be playing the best version. There are tons of mods, and it just looks fantastic. The other really cool thing is variance in the way your character looks. All these different types of armor, you can craft your weaponry. It has unique looks. And actually, probably the single best thing about this is now the third-person animation. It actually looks like someone's walking. In Oblivion, they're kind of like running, you know, skating on the spot and stuff. Here, like, it feels like there's weight. Skyrim in general looks just beautiful. Definitely a big step up from Oblivion. A lot was taken from Fallout. Result is definitely a beautiful game. It's not perfect by any means, but they did a really good job.
In terms of the voiceover delivery in this game, for the most part, it's pretty good. Some characters do sound better than others.
Go talk to a guard. Count down how many of them said that they were once adventurers, but they got an arrow in the knee.
The music just plays a very ambiance kind of feel. It's not really in your face.
No, except the main theme song, which is probably the most badass. It's like a chorus, a Viking singing, really gets you pumped up.
Whenever you find a new theme or force power or whatever that's
really
really over powerful, like, I can't even do it. This is
good.
Yeah.
In the main scheme of things, it is a complete package, and it's definitely a good looking and sounding game.
Let's get into the content of Skyrim. There's really just a whole lot of stuff you can do. So if you're like me, this game can pretty much take you forever. I mean, right off the bat, I started off the game. The first thing I did was talk to some NPCs, get some side quests going. Started the side quest. 40 hours in, I was like, holy sick, I forgot about the storyline. There is a whole lot you can do.
The nature weapons, the god level weapons, or you can craft stuff. You can just live in this game day to day. By skipping all the side quests and all the guilds and all that, you are cutting yourself short. The companions in particular, it takes a really freaky turn in one dungeon, which I did not expect. There are tons of dungeons to raid. You have the dragon fights, you have your companions to support and help you throughout the game. I break into the houses to find ingredients for soups and meals I want to make. I like selling potions. There's definitely going to be a DLC. Oblivion was the game that introduced horse armor, really crappy DLC. This game sold like crazy. The fastest title to reach 1 million units on Steam. Definitely going to keep the momentum. Should see a lot of healthy Skyrim content coming in the future.
I hope you enjoy the show. See you next time on GamerNerdz. Now we're gonna basically take. Going to set foot. The most critically acclaimed and okay. 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 Welcome back to the.
Welcome to Nickelodeon.
I was gonna say, welcome back.
Today we are going to look.
This guy even chose it as Team of the Year award.
Yeah.
So,
I chose Beth. I'm not gonna say yes.
so you start.